G'day and welcome to episode 25 of Trent365. It's Christmas. Apologies if the sound isn't so great this morning because I'm standing on the balcony over the beach in Hua Hin in Thailand. And while everybody else is wishing you a Merry Christmas, I thought I would try and give you a little bit of business/customer service advice. Because last night when we arrived at the hotel to check in, they started the check-in process, took the credit card, and then informed me that they didn't have the room type that I requested, but they've noticed that I don't have breakfast included in my rate, so we'd like to offer you a complimentary breakfast instead. So they had already had it figured out that I didn't want a complimentary breakfast, I just wanted the room type that I'd booked. So they've screwed that one up. And I used to work in the hotel business for about 12 years before I joined the spa business, so I know the game, and they've done everything according to the book, but I would argue that, like a lot of things, I guess, the book is maybe wrong. They'd gone through and identified that I was possibly one that could be bumped or could be taken to another room or basically not be given what I wanted. They'd identified 2 or 3 options that they could use to sweeten the deal for me so that I wouldn't be totally upset. But then as they started presenting the offers and as I kept rejecting the offers, we just basically went on a merry dance and they went back to their computer each time, which to me suggested that there was an alternative. They did have a king bed, they just didn't want to give it to me because they obviously didn't have enough. They were looking to try to get me to take the lesser option and sweeten the deal. So not only am I annoyed because I didn't get what I booked for, but I'm now getting more annoyed because it feels like they actually have it, they just don't want to give it. So it feels like we're now in a bit of a dance, a bit of a negotiation, which is really not how you wanted to start your holiday. And here's what maybe could have worked. If they had have sat me down and said, listen, we're overbooked on your particular room type, so we're looking for guests who want to volunteer to move, and here's 2 or 3 things that we can offer you as compensation. At least that conversation starts with an element of honesty, and I feel like I'm back in control, that I've been given some sort of option. Whereas the way that they presented it to me, I felt like I had pretty much no choice except to stand firm. It's not dissimilar to the way the airlines work when they've overbooked on a flight and they offer people, $100 or $200 or a free flight if they were to get off this flight and go on to the next flight. It's a very similar approach. But again, hotels don't do it. Hotels do it the way these guys did it. They have their plan, they play their plan, and hopefully they play it early enough so that they still have some options left when the last guest comes and absolutely refuses. Now, in Spa-land, of course, we tend not to have those kind of problems. But I think the lesson to be learned out of this is still pretty much the same. Don't just assume what the guest wants, and don't assume that you can play coy with them. Honesty is always a better policy when it comes to failing to deliver something which you've already promised. Because they promised me that room, I'd booked that room. And so whenever we make a promise in spas and we fail to deliver, which happens, we make mistakes, but the ability to recover that mistake is key. And the key to that is honesty with the guests. Sit them down, give them the options, and make them feel like they have the power again. Because by not giving them what they wanted, you've essentially taken away their power. The customer always wants to feel like they're in control, and your job as a deliverer of that service or that custom needs to make them feel that way. There it is. Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas, and look forward to a good week ahead, moving into New Year. You can subscribe on iTunes, or if you're not, then follow along on the social streams, and I'll be back again tomorrow. See ya.